Green Revolution Nigeria is a weekly 30 minutes program on Clearview TV that highlights developments in Nigeria's agricultural sector, ranging from food cultivation, harvest and post-harvest losses, Agri Research Institute, food marketing, farmers themselves, and so on. It is a green revolution, and it is a Clearview TV affair that starts here. I am your uncle, Zara Ozobia. Join us. Welcome to Green Revolution. It's a program on the agriculture sector that will highlight all the activities concerning the sector, bringing together also government's policies and programs and connecting these programs as it relates to Nigerian small-scale farmers. I will be your anchor on this program every Monday, 6 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. Its repeat version will come your way on Saturdays, same time, 6 to 6 p.m. My name is Zara Sambo Ozobia. On this maiden edition, our first segment, we are prying into the world of herbal. Herbal medicine is becoming a solution to most of the ailing diseases suffering and ravaging mankind. We are looking at a man who is making waves in the herbal world. I'm talking about Dr. Ben Amodu. He laid claims to a lot of cure on many illnesses that is ravaging humanity. On this segment, Jennifer Eze will take you through.
Herbal medicine couldn't have originated elsewhere other than Africa. The continent's vast arable land, with its rich forestry endowment, makes it a ready-made ground for plants and shrubs needed for herbal medicine to grow. As agricultural research intensifies, more discoveries on the usefulness of plants in the area of medicine are being recorded. Dr. Ben Amodu is an expert on herbal medicine. He enumerates quite a number of plants and have been authenticated to be rich raw materials to herbal medicine.
Herbal medicines are very, very, very effective. Very, very, very effective for the ones we are working on. And in our own special case of research, we are into supplements that are of food origin, and we don't add chemicals at all as preservatives. It's fully acceptable now. It's people when they know about their situations and they take these products and they get relief, nobody will tell them. Even when their advisors tell them don't take herbal medicine, they go take it, they see the differences, they come back, they confirm to us.
Dr. Amodu insists that herbal medicine has the ability to boost bodily immunity against diseases, even much more than modern medicines.
To start with communicable diseases, which are diseases of lifestyle, we have HIV/AIDS, we have hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E, we have tuberculosis, we have Zika, we have Ebola, we have Lassa fever, and the rest of them. And to the glory of God, in this area, our HIV/AIDS is on the social media. Those who have treated that have received from positive to negative. It's not for me to explain those ones. They are there. And they did this test by themselves. It's not me that did it in my lab. They were on my medication, and they did the test at home. They went the following day to the hospital to have hospital confirmation, and the hospital gave them the same result. They went for RVS. They still got confirmation that it is negative. So should we say lies? In the US, in the UK, when they get a negative result for HIV, they say it out. So why should our own be different? So those results are there. And a journalist came to me here and said, this thing you say, I have to go to Kano. He went to Kano, called the lady. The husband came to see him in his guest house and told him, yes, that thing you heard from pharmacist Amodu is true. My wife tested negative. Yes, Lassa fever, during an exhibition, I have given government my combination for prevention and cure of Lassa fever. But nobody talked to me. I said they can take it to any lab anywhere in the world to ascertain the effectiveness.
And Ebola?
And Ebola. For Ebola, I told you earlier, we did a specific test on our combination for HIV. And we saw that it was taking care of Ebola because an indicator for Ebola effectiveness is CD8 count. And in the patients we gave, 3 of them, we had their CD8 progressively increase, which shows effectiveness in Ebola. And for Zika, the same thing. And for coronavirus now, we intend to use our throat cancer prevention and cure to attack corona. The first area of attack of corona is the throat. So we cut it off by giving our prevention for cancer of the throat, which cures any issues relating to throat.
The World Health Organization, WHO, had recently rated Amudu's latest malaria fever cure drugs as most effective, reading 97% cure. This, no doubt, might have led to the approval for the establishment of his hospital in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, known as the African Alternative Medicine Hospital. By the way, it is first of its kind. The award winner of the African Quality Herbal Medicine 2017 says he will not rest on his oars until he finds cure to most, if not all, the communicable and non-communicable diseases that are not only becoming rampant, but ravaging humanity. It's back to you, Zara, in the studio.
Now, as much as you have seen on that report, herbal medicine draws its sources from plants, and that relates to agriculture. Now, these are the major plants Ben Amodu claims to be using. And these plants, as you know, are plants we take for granted. We don't even think they are a major cure to most of the diseases or sicknesses suffering humanity. These are some of the plants. Green Revolution Nigeria is a weekly 30 minutes program on Clearview TV that highlights developments in Nigeria's agricultural sector, ranging from food cultivation, harvest and post-harvest losses, Agric Research Institute, food marketing, farmers themselves, and so on. It is a green revolution, and it is a Clearview TV affair that starts here. I am your uncle, Zara Ozobia. Join us. Now, government is beginning to heed, calls that they should come into the veterinary sector to help humanity. In the last 2 weeks, the Federal Capital Territory went out vaccinating most domestic animals. Notable among them are dogs and cats against rabies. And that exercise was done, free of charge. This is a wake-up call in terms of curbing animal zoonotic diseases, and diseases that come from animals to man. And that exercise lasted 2 weeks. Now, we've been talking to veterinary experts who are saying it's a wake-up call and it's a good development. It's also a welcome development. Look at how the exercise went through. I have Redmond Ogbara, who will take us through on this report.
There is a global growing concern over incessant outbreaks of contagious zoonotic disease transmitted from animals to human beings. Among these diseases are Lassa fever, Ebola, and recent coronavirus. Attention of governments, both at home and abroad, have been shifted to crucial zoonotic disease through surveillance, prevention, and possible cure. However, uncontrollable death tolls have greeted countries where these diseases have been prevalent.
I would like to commend the federal government for is the closure of border to particularly import of poultry and poultry products. It has actually stimulated and had given the local producers that opportunity where they can get the best price for their effort in producing poultry. Secondly, is to also advise farmers to look out for the best services. They should not turn their farms to an experiment laboratory where they are trying every drug, they are trying every vaccine, they are trying every techniques. They should listen to professionals in the field.
For example, in Africa, Ebola and Lassa fever have fairly ravaged the western region population, and how China is grappling with the coronavirus.
The novel coronavirus that came up is something that we're used to during the Harmattan. During Harmattan, here in Nigeria, we have lots of respiratory-based diseases of poultry, things like infectious bronchitis, things like Newcastle, particularly the respiratory type.
Animal protein through meat and egg have been a major food ingredient to human beings. This is apart from man's interaction with animals who they keep as pets. So non-interaction between man and animals is near impossible. It is in this thinking that the Federal Capital Territory, through its Agricultural Secretariat, organized a 2-week home-to-home vaccination for all the domestic animals within the territory.
Kudos to also the federal government, because there are some intervention funds. I'm currently working on two now, intervention funds where we do free vaccination, anti-rabies vaccination. There was one in FCT, I think last 3 weeks or so, where there were free interventions. You just need to come with your dog and then there are free anti-rabies. It's not enough, but at least it's a right step in the right direction.
Preceding this exercise, which ended over the weekend, 30 veterinary health personnel were employed to enhance the Secretariat's manpower towards discharging this duty. Animals such as dogs and cats were vaccinated against rabies, while goats and sheep against the deadly Peste des Petites ruminants. While the FCT residents have been asked to keep their environments clean and free of rats and insects like cockroaches. Government has subsidized disinfectants and drugs meant for the treatment of domestic animals. The veterinary clinic, now upgraded to hospital in Yanya, they say, provides all treatments to animals. Government is also rehabilitating and upgrading all existing abattoirs to enhance hygienic animal slaughtering and haulage of meat to various selling points. Back to you, Zara, in the studio.
Now, thank you, Ogbara. And on our last segment, we have, grief and panic has affected humanity the world over. Governments at home and abroad are panicking because of outbreak of diseases that are classified incurable. They also fall under the category of zoonotic diseases. We are talking about coronavirus. And before coronavirus in Africa, we suffered the Ebola disease. And right after the Ebola was what was known as the Lassa fever, which affected Nigeria in particular. Now, experts are saying, especially veterinary doctors whom we came across, they are saying the responsibility and care of animals lies on human beings. Does that mean we are failing in our part? That is why we are experiencing zoonotic diseases outbreak. Now you hear from the experts.
Livestock production and animal management services is a new big-time business to both individuals and governments worldwide. Livestock is currently the world's fastest growing agricultural subsector, and it is expected to drive employment and income gains for smallholders farmers. The picture is clearer in sub-Saharan Africa, where more than 50% of its population sustains its livelihood on livestock keeping and trading.
We are 200 million population now, and we are expecting that the population of Nigeria by the year 2050 will be over 400 million. So where are we going to get all the proteins we are going to be eating? I think there needs to be like a primary focus on producing animal protein. If not, we'll come to that point where everybody will be eating carbohydrate and not protein.
Two veterinary doctors, Amina Adanusa and Femi Kayode, say animal welfare is a human responsibility as humans source their meat, fish, protein intake majorly from livestock.
We're talking about first chicken, we're talking about goat, we're talking about ram, we're talking about, those ones that we keep behind that it doesn't really cost much to keep. So most of them. Also, we're thinking about cattle. That's most slightly more expensive, but there are already categories of people that are naturally just endowed with keeping those type of things. So we're talking about cattle, basically.
Common vaccines, we have the rabies vaccine. We also have the parvoviral enteritis vaccine. It's a 5-in-1 vaccination. And then for cats, we also have the cat flu vaccine. Those are among the common vaccines we give to them.
But much more than this is the commercial aspect of animal production. Animal husbandry, they say, whether on small or large scale, attracts huge financial gains for the farmers.
For us vets, there are still a lot of people who keep pets, but not as much as in the developed world. But yes, there are people who keep pets in Nigeria.
Femi Kayode insists there are a lot of farmers yet untapped in the sector. Government, he says, should step in to stimulate the sector for more derivable gains, which will have direct bearings on the country's gross domestic product, GDP.
If you take care of your pet, if you do all the things you need to do, vaccinate when you need to, deworm at the right time, your chances of falling sick will be lessened.
For Dr. Amina, her concern is more on providing intensive care for companion animals so as to curb the spread of transmission or animal diseases to man.
We have a variety of infectious diseases that also affect pets, just the way you have humans. Pets also come down with different health challenges, from viral to bacterial infections, fungal and what have you. Corona is a viral infection. Yes, now we see most of it in animals, but it's not been isolated from pet animals as such. It's a virus that's been there for a very long time, I must say that. It's just that what we have now is that the virus kind of mutated, had a change in its DNA and all of that, and that has caused it to become more virulent, more infectious to humans.
Although we need more structure to be put in place to help check some of these diseases, but we are doing quite a handful of things to ensure that these diseases are being controlled.
Amina Ndunasa says animals are very friendly, loyal and don't betray their keepers.
Green Revolution Nigeria is a weekly 30-minute program on Clearview TV that highlights developments in Nigeria's agricultural sector, ranging from food cultivation, harvest and post-harvest losses, Agri Research Institute, food marketing, farmers themselves, and so on. It is a green revolution, and it is a Clearview TV affair that starts here. I am your uncle, Zara Ozobia. Join us.
Emmanuel, you keep pets. How it takes a chunk of your money? Why do we keep it? Is there any economic viability in keeping it?
Yeah, aside the love of it, I love dog particularly. I love livestock anyway, not just dog. I keep other livestock like fish.
He knows all the members of the family.
Sure, they're emotional.
What's his name?
Light.
Light. Does he know his name?
Sure.
Call him it.
Light.
What's wrong with Light?
She fought other dogs, so bigger dogs. So
she's wounded.
On the eye and infected today.
Now let me ask, how it's very costly keeping them. How do you come to your house?
It's not that costly, but just It depends on the breed anyway. Most dog, the reason why dog is expensive is because most of their feed are not readily available in Nigeria, so they have to import them. So they import most of the feed, like Diamond Puppy and others. So the cost of importation and others make it.
Can they eat local food? Rice, well cooked with chicken. Is that not local?
Yeah, there are some things we eat that dogs can't eat, like bulbs, onion, for example. So it's not good for their health. Onions, for example, and some other things. So because of that, it's not really advisable to give them what humans eat.
Green Revolution Nigeria is a weekly 30 minutes program on Clearview TV that highlights developments in Nigeria's agricultural sector, ranging from food cultivation, harvest and post-harvest losses, Agric Research Institute, food marketing, farmers themselves, and so on. It is a green revolution, and it is a Clearview TV affair that starts here. I am your uncle, Zara Ozobia. Join us. Now, thank you, Joy Esekwe, for that report. And on this note, we come to the end of the maiden edition of Green Revolution. Its repeat version will come your way on Saturday, same time. I hope you keep glued with Clearview TV, especially on this 30 minutes program, The Green Revolution. I am your host, Zara Sambo Ozobia. Thanks for watching. Green Revolution Nigeria is a weekly 30 minutes program on Clearview TV that highlights developments in Nigeria's agricultural sector, ranging from food cultivation, harvest and post-harvest losses, Agric Research Institute, food marketing, farmers themselves, and so on. It is a green revolution, and it is a Clearview TV affair that starts here. I am your uncle, Zara Ozobia. Join us.